This is one of the most bullish crypto projects on my radar right now. And fun fact, if you had taken action from the first moment that I started talking about it, you'd be up a ton right now, but from the way in which things have gone here, the real crazy part might not even be here just quite yet. Because I seriously mean, guys, these guys know how to put up a freaking show. But I don't want to keep you in anticipation for too long. Take a look. So here's a project I've talked about multiple times throughout the last couple of weeks. And you know what the funny thing is? Every single time, I'm going crazy. Every single time I take a look at it, it's up way more. And it reminds me of the last 800x that I saw with Nosana. But just take a look, right? From 4 cents to $2.85. Just to put it into perspective, the last time I talked about it here was about 7 days ago in one of my crypto YouTube videos. And just for fun, right? You can see that back then the price was also only $1.74. Right now it touched what? Right after that, it touched $4 or so. So anybody who bought because of that, even though I never encouraged it, I always say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying anybody who bought when my video came out would have doubled, slightly more than doubled their money actually, over the next few days, as it's just been going absolutely crazy. And like I said, has been following a sort of course like Nosana, which was able to run to more than $8 from 1 cent. This one started its run at 4 cents. You know, do the math. I guess $32 is a low target for this one, huh? Anyway, here's why. So I'm not here to tell you, oh, the price is going to be so amazing, because it's already done some ridiculous gains. And obviously, as it gains in market cap, to some extent, it becomes riskier. Not always. But in this case here, it's not got that many exchange listings just quite yet. And I keep thinking, well, the moment it can get some of them out there, it could actually be a really positive influx of new capital, new people, because of the way they've done their project. In the sense that the first RWA tokenized deep-in marketplace, just like similar projects of this sort, it usually is really able to cater to almost anybody in crypto, because RWA, real world assets they understand, a marketplace of that nature can encompass so much money. And then you can't see it in here, but oh yeah, here you can actually, to also make sure they get themselves the AI and deep-in buzzwords. Just if we're talking about the next crypto bull run, which we're in right now, right? The whole AI run of sorts, it's hitting all the boxes. And I always said, either RWA or AI/deep-in, they're both in the same sector, is going to be the most profitable thing in this sector. It seems that RWA ain't it. It seems to be AI, but luckily they're hitting all the different spots. And I've stated before that some sort of marketplace of this sort needs to become popularized. And you can see a couple of parts that it has. The RWA tokenized deep-in model drives down costs for AI developers. Necessary. Fractionalized ownership of deep-in assets creates more flexible revenue streams for deep-in asset owners. Yes. Here's the full passive income model, by the way, if you're wondering how it looks like in this, in a model way, I guess. But anyway, the reason I've been seeing them a lot quite recently here, I think partially is also because of their crazy price increase, but also because they're quite good at marketing. They're quite good at getting themselves new juicy partnerships, just like how very recently here they were able to partner with EtherFi and MapleFi. And you can see here there's also a message of the head of BD that they're just open about being at the Bitcoin conference and what they're up to. It's just a nice little personal touch. But that's not why I'm so excited, by the way. It's not why I think there's a lot of growth in this whole sector still. It's more so just to show they're not afraid of putting themselves out there. And I like that about projects. Many of these projects nowadays like to keep hiding away. But no, they're very forward coming, so to speak. I don't know how to say it the best way. Anyway, why I think it's going to be huge, take a look at what DGen News posted a few days back. Breaking. U.S. Treasury report says tokenization has the potential to unlock the benefits of programmable, interoperable ledgers to a wider array of legacy financial assets. What I mean with that is tokenization of real-world things without using the key concepts of, oh, tokenizing RWA. Just really think about it. A world where most things are tokenized is coming. We are 99% sure of it. Like everything is going to be in some form, way, shape, or form tokenized, I think, that is easily tokenizable, or at least that for which it makes sense to do so. The sector is obviously huge, and there's so many multipliers that I still think we'll see. And right now, really, when we start looking at it, revenue-wise, I think these guys have only hit 0.001% of the potential, mostly because all the big institutions, like almost none of them have adopted this tech just quite yet, or are ready to do so, or are able to switch from their antiquated systems to new ones. But again, all it takes is time. So if you've forgotten exactly what these guys do, Pinlink's RWA tokenized deep-in marketplace will create a central location where fractional purchases can be made of every conceivable deep-in and digital infrastructure category, from GPUs to miners to nodes to AI agents, models, data sets, and more. And I said before, these AI agents are also getting more and more popular, but especially just a marketplace for everything. I'm not sure, by the way, if there isn't a lot more projects that do a similar sort of mission. I don't know. But for these guys, I do know that they're doing it, and I know it's necessary, and I know they've been doing well in terms of token price. And again, no guarantees I'm making for the token price. I'm just saying it does fit for the narrative that's currently ongoing, with Trump just now stating he wants to make the US the center of AI and crypto. I think just for crypto/AI, big move is coming. And so for all the ones that facilitate and are the middlemen, a lot of good stuff is coming as well. As all purchases will be made in PIN tokens, this will embed PIN as the standardized currency for the new DePIN economy, tying together the entire DePIN ecosystem with a single unit of value. Think of PIN as the USD of the new AI-centric economy. Obviously, very ambitious goals. You're never sure if they're able to get to, seeing the PIN as the USD, but do we really have to? Even if it just capitalizes on 0.1% of such a broad market, that's absolutely huge, because you got to understand how big this whole sector is going to be. It is, but how big it's going to be is more important even. Like, how big is the DePIN market? 3.5 trillion? But then a decentralized market of this sort will combine everything, and I think 10x it. So how big is the RWA tokenization market? 10 trillion maybe? Anyway, we have to go back to the model for a second, because I can talk about numbers of how great it's going to be, but the reason Pinlink specifically stands out a bit, and this is one of the nicest parts, is because everything is, well, to some extent, fractionable. So the reason it has benefits for all parties is because if you're able to split up, and this goes for almost anything, if you're able to split it up into smaller parts so more players can participate in your market, you obviously are going to get yourself a better share. Because a lot of people don't need to use the full thing. They might not want to lend out or borrow a full thing. And usually with GPUs or with almost any of the keywords we've been talking about here, it's a one-to-one type of arrangement. You're focused on one thing, one task. What if you could kind of split that up in a certain way? Here we go. So again, when we talked earlier about this passive income seeker, you can see he could buy fractional shares, or from this DePIN ERC-1155, 1155, let's say, can get a proportional share of the rental fees. Anyway, I just recommend you to kind of focus in on the model here for a second, because all my explanation would do is just follow the lines here. The DePIN asset owner, the one who owns the real thing, connects his device, it sends the rental fees to the contract, and so forth and so on, making itself a beautiful circular marketplace. With an interesting point at the bottom here, invests, part of this, it says here, sends rental fees to NFT contract, service user rebate fund, invest in low risk yield bearing bonds, which acts as a user rebate model, which is actually kind of interesting in comparison to other projects. And you got to understand, they might be working for some time, sure, but it's still rather small. It's a very steep growth curve, that they've got ahead of themselves if this manages to pop off the way I kind of hope they do. At least the price already has. But even then still, I say there's a lot more growth possible here, because they've got a lot of the key points hit, and they've got a lot of benefits with it. Lower costs for AI developers. Let's quickly go through here. Increased income for these asset owners. So whenever you have an asset, you get more. Attracting more capital because of these fractional shares. Yeah, it makes sense. Talked before about the team, by the way. This was the main guy was the former engineering VP at Engine. So he knows a thing or two about launching crypto projects. And if you got more questions, you can just find out about him here. Or maybe over time, they'll just get answered over on Twitter, as it seems to be a thing that they do. Go deeper into a lot of these harder questions, harder topics. Again, a very nice front-facing engagement with the public. I like it. And once more, ladies and gents, in no way, shape, or form am I guaranteeing that this is going to do amazing. I'm giving you merely an overview of what the project is about. A little bit, because I've been talking about it for the past few weeks, and it's done so amazing that I thought maybe people want a slightly more in-depth overview as to why I was so excited about it, why the price, in my opinion, did so well, and why this, in my opinion, is not really the end for the project at all. It's merely just the start. But definitely do let me know down below if you agree or disagree. Again, right now, I am crazy bullish on the entirety of the AI sector, but this one hits a couple more nice ticks. So no guarantees about the price. I will quickly make that clear here. Just good tech. That's about it. Make sure you do come back in the next few days for more crypto updates. Most likely somewhere later today. See you guys around.